Hello everyone, welcome back to another YouTube video by Enlighten You. My name is Aiden and today we are going to be talking about how to download Zoom and how to use it properly on a mobile device. As you can see here on the screen, I'm going to be using an iPad for this demonstration, but the process should be fairly similar for all your iOS and Android devices. The first thing you'll want to do is go into the App Store if you have an iPhone or iPad, and if you have an Android device, then you'll want to go into the Google Play Store. After searching for Zoom, you can just download the application. When you open Zoom at first, you're going to have three different options. One thing you can do is join a meeting. For this, you won't need to have an account. If you don't have an account already, you should sign up, and if you do have an account, I recommend you sign in. While you can sign in with the Zoom account, you can also sign in using SSO, Google accounts, or Facebook accounts. I do recommend you allow Zoom to give you notifications and access your calendar. This way you can see your Zoom meetings that are scheduled on your calendar for your device, as well as you can get notifications for people that are calling you. As you can see on the left-hand side, there are four different menus in Zoom. The default is Home, where you can join a new meeting, where you can create a new meeting, schedule a meeting, or even share your screen. There are also different options such as Chat, where you can chat with different people, Meetings, where you can look at your personal meeting ID so someone can join your meeting. You can start the meeting by clicking Start. You can send an invitation to someone in your contacts by clicking Send Invitation, and you can do this by copying the link and sending that to someone, or you can send it as an email or a text message. If you go into the Edit menu like so, you can also find your personal meeting ID there, but you also have the option of requiring a meeting password for someone to join your Zoom meeting. You can change that password, and you can also have the option of turning your video on, turning the participant's video on, deciding how their audio is displayed in the chat, as well as enable the waiting room. If you have the waiting room on, then participants that want to join your Zoom meeting won't be allowed in unless the host manually lets them in. If you turn it off, then you won't have to go through this, and the participants trying to join the Zoom chat will automatically be allowed in. In the bottom, you also have the option to automatically record your Zoom meeting. However, this will take up storage on your device every time you join a new Zoom meeting. Finally, if you go into the contact section, you can find all of your Zoom contacts there. If you click the plus button, you can have many options such as adding a new Zoom contact, creating a new channel, which is like a group chat for text messaging. You can join a public channel, which is basically just joining a pre-existing group chat. Now that we're back on the Zoom home screen, let's talk about creating a new meeting. If you click New Meeting, you can have the option to turn your video on or turn it off. If you turn your video off, you have the option to turn your video back on the Zoom meeting. Likewise, if you have it on, you can turn it back off in the Zoom meeting. Also, if you enable Use Personal Meeting ID, then that is required for people to join the Zoom meeting unless they have the link to join the meeting. As you can see, now that we're in the Zoom meeting, you have to join the audio, and to do so, just click Use Internet Audio. In the top section, you have the ability to mute yourself, and you can unmute yourself. You also have the option in the top to allow your video, which is just using your front-facing camera. If you share content, you have the ability to share your screen, which is whatever you're doing on that device. You can share photos, you can go into your iCloud Drive, Google Drive, many different other things. If you click on participants, you have a list of all the different people that are in that Zoom meeting. If you are the host, then you have an invite button so you can invite new people to the meeting. And if you are the host, you can mute all, and you can unmute all, which is just a function only for the host, and if you're a participant, you do not need to worry about that. In the very top right, you can see More. If you click on that and go into Chat, then you can see messages that are being sent in that Zoom group chat. If you send a message, this message will be sent to everyone in the Zoom chat, and all participants will be able to see. Likewise, other messages people see will be visible to you. Also in the More tab, you have a couple different More options. If you disconnect your audio, you won't be able to hear anything, and people won't be able to hear you through your microphone. Also, if you go into meeting settings, this is only possible if you are the host, by the way. You can tinker with some of your Zoom's group chat settings. You can also minimize your meeting, which will bring up this small Zoom player. With this, you can drag it around your screen, and that's helpful if you want to bring it around somewhere else, but you do not have the option to make it a little larger, unfortunately. You can also have the option on the home screen to go back to that Zoom meeting that you were just in and that you minimized. You can schedule a new Zoom meeting, and you also have the functionality to chat with different people in the chat section, look in your contacts, and some other different things. If you're a host or a participant, in the top left section of the device, you will see an End Meeting tab. Here you have the functionality to end the meeting if you're the host, or you can just leave the meeting. Now that we're back in the Zoom homepage, there's a couple more things you can do. If you click on Join, here you're prompted with a meeting ID, and if you enter in the meeting ID for a Zoom meeting, you can join that Zoom meeting. Under that, you have your name, and if you change that display name, then that's the name that other people in that Zoom chat will see you as. For example, if I just change it to Aiden, then instead of Aiden Desai, they'll see Aiden. If you go back to Schedule, here you have the ability to schedule a Zoom meeting. This is useful if you want to have a scheduled Zoom meeting, for example, with like friends or something. And here you have the ability to change the name of that meeting, the start time, the duration, and you can also prompt it into a specific calendar app. For example, on an iPhone or iPad, you can set it to the iCalendar, which will automatically go into your Apple Calendar application. You have the ability to require your personal meeting ID, as well as a meeting password, which can be useful if you don't want random people joining in, just for the extra layer of security. And you also have the option to turn your video on, participant video on, although this is all adjustable. Once you're done tinkering and scheduling your Zoom meeting, simply click Done in the top right corner, and you'll be prompted with a screen that looks like this. As you can see here, in the top as well as the bottom, you have a link to join the Zoom meeting, as well as a meeting ID and password if needed. You also have the option to invite different people in the Zoom meeting, which is really useful. If you click Add in the top right corner, the Zoom meeting will be automatically added to the calendar app you specified earlier. In this case, I added it to the iCalendar. Another thing you can do is share your screen on Zoom. If you click this, I'm going to be prompted with a menu that asks me for a sharing key or a Zoom meeting ID. If you enter in the key or meeting ID, then you'll be entered into that Zoom group chat. Once you do so, the people in that room will automatically be able to see what you're doing on that device. This is useful for things like presentations or sometimes even sharing a video with different people. This concludes the video on how to use Zoom for your mobile device, as it is pretty much all the functionality you'll need to know in order to get started to use Zoom. If you have any more questions, please feel free to leave any comments in the comment section below, and I'll answer them as soon as possible. Once again, I hope you guys are safe and have a great day.